Hello everyone! Today I'm sharing with you all of the books I acquired in March. Usually when I do my book hauls, I separate them into categories, with first being the books I bought for the month, next being books I was sent either by publishers or ARCs by publishers, things like that, and then last is usually book boxes. I'm still doing all that, but sadly I have no books that I purchased this month. Now, before you dislike this video, because I know a lot of people don't like watching book hauls where every single book they got sent was for free. I understand that. I didn't buy any books this month because I didn't have the funds to. I've talked about this a lot on my channel. We are trying to sell our house right now, and it's a very straining process, both emotionally and definitely financially, because, you know, we're trying to sell our house. We're also looking for a new house, and there's just a lot of work and a lot of money we've had to put into our house we have now to like make it sellable and fix things and stuff like that. So with that, it's just a lot of financial strain. I'm not a person that buys a ton of books anyway because of that, but it's even been more strenuous these past few months, and I think it will continue to be like that for the next few months. So I just want to apologize that no, I don't buy a lot of books. This month I didn't buy any, and I want to buy all the books, believe you me, but I just can't right now. I can't, you know, like my splurge this month was going out for a movie. That's, you know, we're trying to be smart financially and make the right decisions, and, you know, book buying is just going to have to be on hold for a little bit. So I apologize that all these books I'm going to show you today I was sent, and yes, they were all free. So just know that. I'm extremely grateful for all the publishers and book boxes that have sent me books. I do not take them for granted whatsoever. I'm very, very extremely lucky to have a lot of these. I don't take it for granted 1 second. I am very privileged and blessed in that regard. So just know, you know, there's my Amazon card is full. Will I ever purchase them? I don't know. But yeah, that's why book buying is going to be kind of on the back burner in these next few months. I hope you will understand. I'm sure if you've been through what I've been through, you will totally understand. But hopefully, you know, next month I can splurge and buy a couple books. That would be amazing. But either way, just to clarify that and throw it all out there for you, just a disclaimer, let's get on to all of the books. The first book is actually a gift I got, and I got this somehow through Twitter. Somebody, Savvy the Book Royal, I believe, I will link their Twitter and their blog down below. They had said that they found 2 copies of Evelyn Hugo at their local thrift store. One of them was signed to Heather, and they were like, I don't know what to do with this. And somebody actually else commented on it, said maybe Heather from Bookables was wanted. And I did, and luckily they sent it to me. So thank you so much. This is signed to Heather. So nice to meet you. So Jake, it's read. I haven't met her. You know, I'll use this for one day if I ever meet her. Probably won't, but either way, I'm not the biggest like crazy person for signed copies. Like I'm not like I'm like, oh, that's signed. I'm not like crazy about him, but Taylor Jenkins Reid is one of my favorite authors. So the opportunity just happened to fall in my lap, thankfully and graciously. So thank you so much to Savvy the Book Royal. This is forever grateful. I'm so happy to have this. I can't wait to put it with my collection, and I'm so grateful for this and for you. And the rest of the books I have were sent to me via publishers or book boxes. Next up, from St. Martin's Press, I have Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. I don't know why I struggle with that so much. This is an adult or new adult, I'm just gonna say adult, rom-com, and all it says, all I know about it is a big-hearted romantic comedy in which the first son falls in love with the Prince of Wales after an incident of international proportions, forcing them to pretend to be best friends, and I'm guessing something more. I have heard non-stop things about this book here on BookTube. Everyone has been saying they loved it. A lot of people are already dubbing it their favorite book of the year so far, which I think is high feat. I mean, I did that last year around this time myself, but I think that's awesome. I can't wait to read it. I love a good rom-com book and just rom-com in general, so this sounds freaking adorable. I'm just smiling thinking about it. I'm really, honestly, very excited to read it, so I can't wait to read it, obviously. Speaking of books I'm excited about, all of these really I am, but these two in particular a lot. Wicked Saints by Emily A. Duncan. Wednesday Books so graciously sent me an arc of it, and I cannot believe I have this. This is one I will be purchasing for sure. At least I hope so. If I really enjoy it, I will definitely be purchasing it on my own. Who knows when, but I definitely plan to. This is a new YA fantasy series. This is a debut novel as well. I don't know much about it, honestly. It's about the monster hidden behind pale, tortured eyes and a devastating smile. The girl with dark eyes whispering spells in her head. The prince surrounded by deadly assassins and ambitious suitors. In a centuries-long war where beauty and brutality meet, their 3 paths intertwine in a shadowy world of spilled blood, mysterious saints, where forbidden romance threatens to tip the scales between dark and light. So this is like a gothic type of fantasy book, which I really enjoy. So I've heard this compared a lot to Six of Crows, which I'm excited about. I am one of the rare few who don't like love and is obsessed with Six of Crows. Like, I enjoyed it, but it's not like one of my all-time favorites. I know, throw your stones at me. But I'm very excited for this one. I just like really good, dark, mysterious books. I hope this will be gothic and all of those many things. Next up, I have a few books from Berkeley. First up being The Wedding Party by Jasmine Gilroy. So she has written a couple of books before, which I have read. This is kind of the sequel, I would say probably sequel, to The Wedding Date, which I read last year and really enjoyed. Wedding Date focuses on these two characters, and in this book, those two characters are getting married. I mean, that's probably spoiling it for you, but I think with a contemporary book, you can just guess where it's gonna go. And it's about these two friends, named Maddie and Theo, who, number one, Alexa is their best friend, who is the character in The Wedding Date, and number two, they hate each other, so they're paired with each other a lot because of the wedding party and things like that. And I'm guessing a romance ensues, and I can't wait to read it. She just writes really cute books with a lot of romance and a lot of food in them as well, I've noticed, both of her books, which is never a bad thing, honestly. Another book they sent me is When We Left Cuba by, oh goodness, Chanel Cleaton. This is the author that wrote Next Year in Havana, which everyone raved about. I have not read that yet. I don't think this is a sequel or a spinoff. I thought it was, honestly, but it's not. It's completely something different. It's in the 1960s Florida. A young Cuban exile will risk her life and heart to take back her country in this exhilarating historical novel from the author of Next Year in Havana. So it's a completely different plot. I don't think any of the same characters are in that book, at least I'm not aware of. If you've read Next Year in Havana, is this a sequel or companion to it, or is it completely different, or is it separate, its own entity? So either way, I've been getting a little bit more in historical novels, so this one looks amazing, and maybe I should read her first book first, probably. That would probably be the wise thing to do. Next up, I have Field Notes on Love by Jennifer E. Smith. I got this because I did an Instagram campaign for it, which I was very excited to do so because Jennifer E. Smith wrote Windfall, which I read last year, and I really enjoyed it. No one ever talks about that book here on BookTube, but I really liked it. It's about a guy named Hugo and his girlfriend that are going to travel America by train. Only Hugo's girlfriend dumps him right before the train ride, and what's worse, the ticket is in her name, so he can't really do anything with it. So he puts like an ad out like, hey, if this is your name, it's a free train ticket. And luckily, a girl named May, who is still really being rejected from film school, stumbles across it, and that is her exact name. So basically, these two strangers go on a train ride across America together, and with all the hearts on the cover, you can tell what's gonna happen. Will I probably like it? Yeah. Next up, I have There's Something About Sweetie by Sanan Menon. I really enjoy her books. She is a YA contemporary author, and I love the diversity in her books, and I also love her characters. Her characters are all unique. This one follows a character named Sweetie, who is a formidable track athlete who can outrun most people in California. She's a little friend, and she's also plus size. And basically, Sweetie meets Anish, and their parents kind of pair them together, basically, and they have something to prove. But with each date, they realize the unexpected magic growing between them. Can they find their true selves without losing each other? So it's like, you know, kind of a fake relationship, and then it escalates to real love, things like that. I can't wait to read this because of the main character, Sweetie. I'm a plus-size woman myself, and I like that there's more representation with that, because I feel like in a lot of books, like, they're all really beautiful and really lean and tall, and I'm none of those things. So I really like that there's going to be more plus size representation, and I just love Sweetie because I think I could tell, I haven't read it yet, but I'm hoping that she embraces herself for who she is, no matter her body size, and just owns it, and I need to take that advice myself. But I'm really excited to read it. A plus-size character that falls in love? Like, yes, please. I have 3 books from Cork. Cork always treats me so nicely. They're one of my favorite publishing companies because they publish the most, like, intriguing and beautiful things, honestly. Like, I love they have a very wide selection of books at Cork, and I love them. The first one being The Princess and the Fangirl. This is the sequel / companion novel to Geekerella by Ashley Poston. I read it a couple years ago. I fell in love with it. It's a part of her Once Upon a Con series, and basically, like, every book she's like doing a retelling of a fairy tale. The first one being Cinderella. This one being The Prince and the Pauper? The Princess and the Pauper? I forget the exact title, but either way, we follow Imogen, who was actually in Geekerella, and she falls in love with a character named Jessica Stone, who is one of the stars of Starfield, which is like a big fandom that was in Geekerella, and things happen from there. I can't wait to read it. They're quirky, they're cute, they're fandoms, like it's all basically me, so can't wait to read this. I'll say that like 50 times. Like if I put a count on here, I don't even want to do that. And the next one is called Race Me in a Lobster Suit. Absurd internet ads and the real conversations that followed by Kelly Mahone. So this is actually the title. So, you know, you see some weird stuff on Craigslist, more likely, and just even Facebook Marketplace, any sort of place that has internet ads. And these are conversations. I have read some of these, and let's just say I don't even know. They're quite long, so I'll try to find a short one. Looking for someone to make my dreams come true. Over the last few weeks, I've been having a series of reoccurring nightmares that I can't get to go away. My shrink chalks that up to stress. I guess that makes sense as I have so much on my mind right now. What I'm looking for is someone to come over to reenact my bad dreams with me. I keep a dream journal, so I'll have them all written down. I think if I fall asleep to them happening in real life, my subconscious might start doing something different once I fall asleep. I'd say it's at least a try. So that's already freaking weird in itself. But then you get the actual person commenting back. It says, "Hi, my name's Drew and I'm an actor. Your request is someone act out your dreams. Sounds super interesting. Weird but interesting. Would you be willing to do it over Skype?" And then like it's their conversation about it. So like I saw one where this person wanted to like have somebody that was like a professional knitter to knit them a cocoon so they could stay in their cocoon for the entirety of winter. Like they don't leave the cocoon at all. We had a whole conversation about it. So perfect book to read. I'd say if you need to pick me up, I've been doing that lately. Like when I need to laugh, like I read a little section of this and it does the trick. Like it's just insane. It's just really odd sometimes the ads that are out there on the internet. The internet's a great place. We all know that. And the last book from Cork is A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, the Poetry of Mr. Rogers. Look at this cover. Oh, I'm so excited for this one. I'm sure you all know Mr. Rogers, classic. And it's all of his poetry that he has written, and it's all illustrated in here, and it's really beautiful. There's Oh the Owl, and I will say, I did not grow up watching a ton of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. I did grow up watching a lot of PBS. I would say a lot of Author, a lot of Zoom. Oh my gosh, please tell me I'm not the only one that remembers Zoom. Go on and Zoom, come on and Zoom, come on and Zoom on Zoom. Yeah, it was a lot of that. Like, we didn't have cable, and I still don't have cable today. So just to show you, you don't need cable. So I watched a lot of PBS, but never Mr. Rogers. I don't know, but either way, this is beautiful. I'm going to save this for my son because while I didn't watch Mr. Rogers, he watches Daniel Tiger, which if you don't know, Daniel Tiger animated show on PBS, and it's kind of a retelling, reimagination of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. In fact, Daniel Tiger is right here. There's Oh the Owl, and there's King Friday, and it's all of his characters that Mr. Roger had as his puppets and things like that. They're animated, and Daniel Tiger teaches you lots of things like Mr. Roger would, like kindness, empathy, things like that. And my son loves that show. There's a lot of songs, so I know that he'll cherish this one day for sure because Daniel Tiger is, I love that they're just continuing on with it. I just love all of the life lessons that Mr. Roger has taught us and is still teaching us, honestly. Got a few books from Penguin. The first one being This Book Is Not Yet Rated by Peter Bogani. I love this cover. This is literally a movie theater carpet. You got a spilled soda, some Twizzlers, some popcorn, you know, the life. This basically is about this character, I forget his name, Ethan. Ethan works at this really old movie theater that he really loves. His friends work there, his life has been there, and it's being threatened to be shut down because it's kind of old and decrepit and things like that, and they wanted to tear it down to build new condos. So basically this whole book is about Ethan and his friends and co-workers decide to rally up and try to restore this theater and to make them not tear it down. So I have heard no one talk about this book. I didn't even know about it, so it got sent to me in the mail. And number one, the cover intrigued me. And number two, the fact that it's about a movie theater intrigued me even more because I love movies. And more particularly, I love going to the theater. I know people probably don't love it as much as me, but that's because I don't get out a lot. Like I go to the theater once a month if I'm lucky. Sometimes it's once every quarter. But I just love going with a friend, getting a nice big soda, a popcorn, and just having a good time watching the movie without a kid in the background. So I love going to the theater, so I can't wait to read a book about saving a theater. It's gonna make me want to see a movie, but that's okay because Avengers is coming out this month, and you bet I will make time. I will make it a priority to go see that one. Like, it's gonna happen. So I have Frankly in Love with Heather? What? I'm just kidding. I thought this was totally the book covers. I thought this was totally the book title's name. I was like, Penguin, what? And then I realized all the other book bloggers and YouTubers got it with their names individualized, so that makes sense. I believe it's just called Frankly in Love, and this is by David Yoon. David Yoon is the husband of Nicola Yoon, who wrote The Sun Is Also a Star, Everything Everything. Both books I really enjoy, and this one is his first book. And I think it's about, I don't know what it's really about. It's mostly about his life and about love and being a kid of immigrants in America. Either way, I'm very excited to read it because I love his wife's work so much, so I'm interested to see how he will forge his own path. Then we have two Nina LaCour books. I have We Are Okay, which is a book that everyone has read. I think, have I read this completely? No, I haven't. It's a very short book. Her books pack a punch, and her newest book, I believe, is called Hold Still, and this is about a girl that commits suicide, and her friend's really strong with it, and then she finds her friend that committed suicide's journal, and she kind of, it says it's the stunning debut that launched, oh no, this is not her newest one, it's her debut that launched Nina LaCour, the award-winning, oh, so this is not a debut novel. I'm guessing they maybe did a reprint of it, I don't know, but I haven't yet read a Nina LaCour book. I don't know what's wrong with me. Next up from Disney, I have Mirror, Mirror, A Twisted Tale by Jen Calanito. This one is the 6th book in the Twisted Tale series. It's like a kind of, if you're a really, really big fan of Disney, I would highly recommend checking this series. Like the villains. What if the villains would have won, pretty much? I think the last one was Ursula. If Ursula would won, this one's Snow White. So if the Evil Queen would have won. I always let my best friend borrow them because she is the biggest Disney person I know. Like Little Mermaid is like her jam. She loves Little Mermaid. So she's already asked me to borrow this, and she doesn't do that often with books, but any type of Disney book she borrows. So this is going to go straight to her so she can read and devour it because she loves Disney and all things like that. Next up from St. Martin's Press, I have A Stranger on the Beach by Michelle Campbell. They actually sent me 2 copies of this, and I just finished a giveaway on my Instagram. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, shameless plug, I do a lot of giveaways on there. Every time I get an extra book, I always do a giveaway. So go check it out. This one, I don't know. A woman on the edge should never trust a stranger. Agreed. A stranger should never trust a woman on the edge. Okay. I think it's basically about a stranger on the beach. And that's all I'm going to tell you because that's all I want to know. I need to go into Thrillers blind because that's how I have to do it. Disney sent me some fun things. Sorry about that. They sent me all these Mary Poppins things. So they sent me the box set of Mary Poppins. So we have Mary Poppins. Let's pull them all up together, shall we? So we have Mary Poppins. These are by P.L. Travers. We have Mary Poppins Comes Back. We have Mary Poppins Opens the Door, and Mary Poppins in the Park. So they asked me to get these, and I was apprehensive at first because I was like, I probably won't read these, and I probably won't, but then I was like, my son will read these eventually. My son is a big reader. I don't know where he gets it from. And I think I thought, you know, he's probably gonna wanna read these one day when he's a little bit older, and I could read them to him. We could read them together. So thank you, Disney, for giving me these. I did not grow up with Mr. Rogers. I grew up with Mary Poppins. Watch that movie every single night before I went to bed. Every night for like 2 months straight, maybe even a year. They also sent me this fake book, Mary Poppins Returns, so I say it's fake because, oh, it opens up. And then they also sent me a little book lamp, or book light, I don't know. They sent me digital copies of both Mary Poppins Returns, which I enjoyed, and the original Mary Poppins, which I love because, hence, I watched it every single night for like a freaking year. Lastly, I have book boxes. First up, in Al Crate, I got 4 Dead Queens by Astrid Schulte. I've already read this book and reviewed it, so if you want to check out my review, I'll link it up there. It's basically about these, it's a YA fantasy, a standalone, I believe, about these 4 queens that rule this, like, each quadrant in their world, and basically, it follows a like renegade or like thief that figures out that somebody's plotting to kill all 4 of these queens. She teams up with this guy and they decide to try to take down who is trying to kill the queens. I liked it. I didn't love it. I'd say it's kind of a so-so YA fantasy in my opinion. You may love it though. Lastly, book of the month. First up, Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. If you're sick of hearing me talk about it, I'm sorry. I'm sure you're sick of everybody talking about it because, whoa, this book exploded. This is her newest novel. I've already read it. I've already reviewed it. I will link it up here. I've also did a whole video talking about every single one of Taylor Jenkins Reid's books. Again, I'll link that down below in case you're interested, or just look it up on YouTube, whatever you want to do. But this is a book that's set in the 60s and follows the band The Six, and we have Daisy Jones coming into it, and it's told in all interview format. I loved it. Spoiler warning, can't stop talking about it, won't stop talking about it. Books fell. And the last one is Before She Knew Him by Peter Swanson, another thriller that I have No clue. Catching a killer is dangerous, especially if he lives next door. Yeah, probably. I don't want to know much about it. I have heard you either love or hate Peter Swanson's books, so if you have to read any of them, I should probably change that very soon. So there you have it. Those are all the books that I acquired in March. Like I said, I didn't buy any, so please forgive me on that front. Hopefully I can have funds next month to do so. I don't know. I hope I will in May, because there's a lot of books I need to buy in May. New releases are coming out aplenty these next couple months, so I need to get my funds in check. If you've heard of any of these books, please leave me a comment, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.